It is a real honor to be here today because we are a Division III interscholastic sports team here at the Coast Guard Academy. Yet we have outmuscled the Air Force Academy, West Point, and Annapolis because we have landed our Commander-in-Chief to preside at this day's commencement. Tomorrow morning, I am going to testify before our House Appropriations Committee. These are the individuals who write checks for our service. And we have often told ourselves we are a service that does more with less. And I'm here to say we are a service that does more because we have the best. And the best are sitting here before their parents, their family members today. But here's what I'm going to say. As you may know, we're already building out a fleet of national security cutters. That program of record was going to be truncated about 5 or 6, and now we're building 10. We're building out 58 fast response cutters, and many of you will be assigned to those. We're building out a fleet of offshore patrol cutters, and we awarded a contract for the first 9. And we just freed up money under this administration to finally invest and heavy icebreakers. We're going to build 6, but we're on the fast track to build the first one. We're missionizing brand new aircraft. We're growing the end strength by over 5,000 of our active duty Coast Guard. So I'm here to say is I can't get you out of those seats into ensign shoulder boards and out to the fleet, into the air, and into the ports, and into cyber fast enough. So I will fast forward my comments here today. But let's look at where you sit today. For the last 200 weeks, you have been students of the principle of leadership, leaders of character. And so when you walk off today, you will be graduates. And my expectation is that you will be leaders of character, but it's going to be 24/7. And so what does it mean to be a leader of character? Well, we are in the business as a military service, first and foremost, about national security. But with national security also comes public trust. And the two of those are interwoven, but you don't have both of those unless you have leaders of character. And so what does public trust look like? Well, today, the United States Coast Guard operates in the waters of over 60 nations throughout the world, using up to deadly force to enforce fishery regulations, to go after drug smugglers. In fact, today we have over 27 metric tons of cocaine in the holds of Coast Guard cutters today that we've seized in the last 3 weeks alone. We have leveled the playing field because we have leaders of character carrying out those missions. And when I meet with all of the Arctic nations, they look to the United States Coast Guard as the leader in the Arctic. As they see this world open up, but what fills that vacuum? And they look to the United States Coast Guard to fill that vacuum. Because we are first and foremost a military service, and we've opened up a whole new front in cyber as well. So yes, leaders of character you are, and leaders of character that you will be, as we find our Coast Guard deployed across 7 continents around the world at any given time. So we are not the Coast Guard that I joined back in 1973 when I first entered Chase Hall. And so when I think back 40 years ago, I first think of your motto of storms yield courage. And so 40 years ago, as I sat on those seats, back in 1977, there was only one storm on the horizon, and that was a Cold War. Now, it was a war with very high stakes, but it was a non-shooting war nonetheless. It was a very predictable world that I entered into. You are going to be military leaders in a world that has storms on many fronts. A world that is bereft with anything but tranquility, and it is going to require leaders of character to lead this great nation as you confront storms beyond what you could have imagined during your 200 weeks here at the United States Coast Guard Academy. And the biggest responsibility that I'm going to entrust upon you upon receiving your commissions is I am going to entrust the men and women who you are going to lead. I am going to entrust their lives into your leadership, into your judgment. And quite frankly, there is no higher calling to be given that daunting responsibility, because when you do that and day in and day out, you will earn the admiration and trust befitting of a leader. A leader is not what you wear on your shoulders, a leader is what you hold in your heart. And I have followed this class now for nearly 4 years during my tenure as Commandant, and I know that we are going to do more with the best because we have the class of 2017 ready to join our fleet. So thank you, one and all.